Chelsea's star player is set to miss the next 3 to 4 weeks out with injury. Today, my friends, I'm here to break down what Pochettino had to say after the Carabao Cup final, and I'll be discussing my predicted lineup against Leeds United tomorrow. So hit that like button, share your thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to watch my big breakdown on Ruben Amorim, as reports suggest that Amorim is our favoured #1 candidate if we in fact decide to sack Pochettino. So find out everything you need to know about him in today's video. Hit that like button, and without wasting any more time, and let's start things with the first piece of bad news today. And Nkunku is set to miss the next 3 to 4 weeks, as confirmed by Pochettino in his press conference. The bad news keeps on piling up, but I want to say quickly, I do feel really bad personally for Nkunku. I can imagine the frustration, the difficulties. All you know is the medical team, is rehabilitation, and it's just like, it's been injuries after injuries, and yeah, you can't get past them. So it does seem like maybe his season is over. By the time he comes back, could we have anything left to play for? Maybe, but then even then, is he going to be fit enough to really take part in anything on a full-term 90-minute basis? I'm not too sure. When you consider circumstances like this, though, it makes you think about the squad management. The fact that we let Broja leave, and Broja's not even playing week in, week out currently for Fulham. That's a bit of a bummer. The fact that Nicholas Jackson is 1 yellow card away from getting a 2-game suspension because he'll have 10 yellow cards for the season. That's not ideal. And that's probably realistically going to happen, right? Which leaves us with only Cole Palmer up front in the meantime. So, the squad planning isn't looking as great right now. It feels like we aren't fully prepared to deal with circumstances like this. And it's a shame that the key player we had big hopes for this season has not been able to take any part at all due to these non-stop injuries. What do they come down to? I can only speculate. I know nothing, and I'm probably wrong, so let's also acknowledge that. But people complain about maybe the training methodology from Pochettino. Is it too intense at times? I don't know. I don't think Poch is an idiot where he's going to make these guys do crazy laps for the sake of it. He's going to consider the fitness of the team, so I don't believe that, to be honest with you. Maybe it's just misfortune, he had a knee injury in pre-season, he had a hip injury during December, and this is an unconfirmed injury that we don't know too much about, but maybe it's all tied together, and all Nkunku needs is to be rested this season to come back for next season, I guess, which is not great for his European Championship dreams, right? So my friends, that is the Nkunku news out the way. So now let's move on to discussing the pre-match press conference against Leeds United tomorrow. Naturally, Pochettino was going to use his press conference as an opportunity to share his post-match reflections after that cup final defeat against Liverpool. And as he goes on to state, currently the team are feeling quite tired. They're still recovering after a pretty intense final, but he is happy at the focus he is seeing in the players. And he's happy at the fact that many of these guys want to be involved in tomorrow's game. He's encouraging the team to move on, to not let the negativity affect their moods. And you know what? Naturally, the manager has to create an uplifting spirit right now. I guess we'll find out what the truth is after the game against Leeds United. We'll see how the team reacts, and we'll see if we can go through and progress into the latter rounds of the FA Cup. But to move on, Poch said that there was no time left for the players now to feel bad about themselves. They have to pick themselves up right now, and we must keep the spirits high and be ready for tomorrow. So again, we'll tell by the reaction what the energy of the team is like, and we'll tell by the performance, how everyone's feeling, to be honest with you. But to move on, Poch discusses his take on the game afterwards, and Pochettino feels like we did well within 90 minutes. We made the best chances. Stats show that we made 5 big chances, but we also missed 5 big ones as well too. I think compared to Liverpool's 1 opportunity, both clubs hit the post, each time as well. So we did have the moments to win that final, and I think that cannot be denied. But I'll share my thoughts afterwards. As Poch goes on to state, he believed that we were the better team within 90 minutes. He said that we tried to win the game. We even tried to win the game in extra time, hence why we fielded attacking substitutions like Madueke, Mudryk, etc., etc. To clarify the misquotes coming out around Pochettino encouraging the team to play for penalties. Now, you guys are seeing what he said verbatim on screen right now. I'll be honest with you, I was finding it a bit hard to decipher and understand what he meant. When he was given this question in the press conference, I think he was just giving a reflection based off what he was thinking and assuming in terms of why the team kind of maybe sat back and dropped off. But he wants to clarify that this was not the main tactical plan, that we purposely set out to play on the counter-attack and make something happen in game. He said, no, we wanted to be brave. We wanted to make something happen in extra time. Hence why I brought in Nkunku. Hence why I brought in Madueke, Mudryk, etc., etc. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I understood that his quotes were taken out of context. Let's be serious, English isn't his first language. And you know what? I always give a lot of credit to anyone that can speak multiple languages. But outside of that, it was the same old stuff about projects needing more time. Other managers also having like a bad time, but coming out through it and needing the belief and support, etc., etc. Now, I'm going to hold my hands up. As I've said, maybe I'm still not in the best headspace to discuss what went down in that cup final, but I still find it hard to accept that defeat. I've seen the game again, and I kind of feel like it's reconfirmed the negativity I felt about that performance. There's a video that I've been trying to release that I can't get out right now. I'm hoping it comes up maybe tomorrow morning or maybe on a Thursday or a Friday. I put too much time in and I go into my thoughts on the cup final in even greater detail. But all I'm going to say is, yes, we made the better opportunities. But for myself, that doesn't mean we were the better team over the course of 120 minutes, I feel like most of our best moments came in like the final 20 minutes of the second half, and that kind of came from Liverpool running out of energy, running out of steam. Hence why Jurgen Klopp made that bold call of bringing on all the academy grads to play in extra time. And they had the better game than us. They took control. And I feel like outside of those moments, what did we really do to force the agenda against Liverpool? What did we really do to force those questions in terms of, giving them difficult things to worry about? I felt like we were just waiting for the right moment to take advantage of the odd mistake that came through without really, using our football, without our patterns of play, without the system, forcing those issues in Liverpool. And I think to myself, at the start of the season, we saw a performance from our team where we were in control of possession. We were forcing the agenda. We showed a lot more bravery compared to what I saw in the cup final. And I think the fact that we ran out of steam in extra time, I think it's poor preparation, in my opinion, to think that there was nothing left in the tank with over 30 minutes of football to play, when we had the momentum at the end of the second half, and we brought on expensive big money guys as well too. The fact that they can come on and not have any impact in game because, again, where was the patterns of play? And I feel like it was the extra time which exposed the lack of anything I'm seeing in the team right now. Yeah? The lack of anything. And this is where my biggest frustrations come with Pochettino. Because as I've said, I understand that with the injuries that have hit him throughout the season, it's forced him to have to constantly make these like workarounds time and time again. But I felt like it was in these moments where he messed up big time, because he could have focused on a sustained way of playing. He keeps on using examples of Klopp and Arteta, but these managers were enforcing the way they wanted to play from the start, irrespective of injuries or whatever. And I think that culminated in Jurgen Klopp's management against us in that cup final, where they basically beat us because they stayed true to themselves. He's like, listen, I don't care if you're young, inexperienced, that you don't have any minutes, yeah? If you're playing for us, you're playing the right way, and we're going to play this way because we believe this is the best way we can get a result. And in the end, they were proven right. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not the first final. How many finals are we messing up? Because we can't take advantage of moments. We're not prime Inter Milan. We are not Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo. We are not even the old Chelsea team where, you play for these moments because you can take advantage. We're too young. I've seen too many young Chelsea teams, fall victim to this stuff time and time again, yet we keep approaching these games in the same way. And I thought the whole reason for this rebuild, the reason why we said everyone before was not good enough, why we had to sack them, why we had to move them on to sign more expensive players in front of them, was to finally be a team that played with a bit of identity, that played with a bit of style. And the fact that we're literally going against everything we've done so far, for me, is the biggest disappointment. And listen, some people will be like, Nini, come on, Jurgen Klopp's coached this team for a long time. You're correct by that. But let's be honest with the facts. I mean, Liverpool had an older team than us, by nearly 2 years. I've been seeing this going around, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to sound really harsh, but I think that's some of the biggest losers stuff I've heard in my life. I feel like we'd be bantering Arsenal, Liverpool, any big team would get bantered if they held on to an excuse like that. Because for me, this is what really matters here. It's not about the average age, it's about the average squad minutes of that team. The average squad minutes of that Liverpool team was 11,458 minutes. Compared to ours was 16,875. Most of our guys that started that lineup had been playing together for a long time. And you're telling me that when it comes to a game against Liverpool where all their A-star guys are gone, but they're fully reliant on squad players, but most of them don't even have over 1,000 minutes. I mean, they're ending the game for the final 40 minutes with PL2 Academy guys, where, listen, the combined average minutes of those 6 Academy players that Klopp used was around 1,436 minutes. You divide that by the 6 players that played, that's on average 240 minutes. I mean, Harvey Elliott, he's been around for a while, but he's only got 660 minutes. That's like, what, 6 games or 7 games? It's not even that many games. And we lost to a team like that doesn't even have that much experience playing at this level. And for me, it wasn't a loss because the players aren't good enough. It's a loss because we haven't built on any sustained patterns of play or identity. And I think in a game where it really mattered the most, everything came back to bite us in the arse and we paid the ultimate price. In the end, playing for moments, playing with fear, cost us against one of the weakest Liverpool teams due to circumstances you'll see for a long time. And the fact that after everything, we can't even take advantage of a game like this, I think for me is the biggest disappointment. So listen, no one has to agree with me, but I'm someone that I like to talk my truth. No one has to agree with me. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I don't say things to be popular. I just say things based on how I feel in the moment. So that's the press conference out of the way. And now let's end things with the predicted lineup. After a very intense game versus Liverpool, I'm caught in two minds. On one hand, we have to naturally rotate the team a little bit. But on the other hand, this is a must-win game where if we get knocked out against this Leeds United team, where they're attacked right now, Ruta, Somerville, Nonso, of course, Bamford. On top of that as well, it's going to be a return for Ethan Ampadu, Archie Gray. They've got some talent in this team. And seeing our struggles throughout the season, I don't take these games for granted anymore. So this is the lineup I'm going with. I'm going for a 4-2-3-1. I think we have to see a level of rotation in the team. Up front, it's going to be Nicholas Jackson because we have no one else. Support on either side of him. I'm going for Mudryk because I guess I have to. I mean, if there's one game, hopefully this guy can get some confidence from is, you know, playing against Leeds in the FA Cup. From the right-hand side, I've gone for Noni. And in behind, I've gone for Cole Palmer. I think this is a game where I want to see a 10 use. And I want to see Cole Palmer, you know, at least showing his shooting threat for more dangerous, favourable positions in the middle. So I would like to see this front four. Supporting them, I've gone for Gallagher. And I've gone for Caicedo. I've gone for Gallagher because he was subbed off a bit earlier. Maybe he might have a bit more fitness. To be honest, with the midfield, I don't really care because I feel like, you know, there's going to be rotation regardless, right? Either in subs or whatever. Unfortunately, don't expect to see Caicedo because he is still cup tied. He's cup tied in the Carabao Cup and he's cup tied in the FA Cup. So it's a shame that when you kind of need to use someone like him, we can't turn towards him. And in defence, I've gone for Ben at left back, Gusto on the right hand side naturally, and I've gone for Colwell and Drev in defence with Petrovic in goal. I'd probably say one of the best players, if not the best player against Liverpool, was probably Petrovic because he made key save after key save. The only disappointing thing was his playing out from the back, but we know that's not the strongest part of his game right now, but it can improve, it can get better. But in terms of his big game saves, his mentality, his focus, I think it's clear, and he has impressed me this season. In defence, Levi and Drev, I think maybe Drev, I think he's deserving of a first team appearance. Not really his fault that when he comes on, the team's soaking up pressure. We're dropping our lines. He hasn't really necessarily made any mistakes, so I can't blame him for any of that. But I also think, I'm going to sound a bit cynical here, but if you're planning on selling him, you need to, of course, keep his value up a bit by giving him those minutes. So I think playing against Leeds makes sense. And I think, of course, the only fullbacks we have currently are Ben and Gusto. And hopefully maybe Gilchrist replaces Gusto later on. And maybe Cole might play left back with Badia coming on in the second half. I guess time will tell. But my friends, that is my predicted lineup. Share yours. I'm actually interested to see what you guys are thinking. And on that note, I'm Nini FC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll see you guys later with some more videos. Cool.